guys. It's funny, someone was talking about redheads. I was just in England, I did a show. Before I even get to the microphone, this guy yells out, "Ah, he's a bit ginger." My first thought was, is England that homogenous that they're forced to discriminate against different shades of white people? My second thought, I'm not ginger. I don't know how to explain this to them beyond that I look like this, whereas ginger people look gross. But British people don't care. They'll make fun of you for anything. This one guy was like, "Hey, America, you guys came late to World War II. I was like, give us some credit. I mean, since then, we've got into wars as early as possible. It's hard to understand English people sometimes. One thing I do understand after eating their food for 3 months was why they conquered half the world looking for spices. The first restaurant I went into, they had a baked potato with cottage cheese on the menu. I was like, when in Rome, I order, a guy gives me a baked potato, layer of butter, layer of cottage cheese, and a cold tomato on top. I was like, I don't mean to alarm you, but you appear to have served me this. I don't want my money back, I just want answers. Was your menu designed by a 6-year-old? Or was your refrigerator on shuffle? I'm a Jewish guy. Any Jews in the crowd? Yeah. I knew Marin would have a few. People. Here's the thing, I'm proud of being Jewish. I like Jewish things like bagels and Woody Allen and grad school. But I don't actually know anything about the religion. I was raised by an atheist. And so sometimes they'll bite me in the ass because I'll be hanging out with my friends, I'll just be Jewing it up, just Jewing it to 11. So I'll be like, "Hey, random question, you're a Jew. Can you explain what Yom Kippur is?" I'm like, "Yom Kippur, of course. That's when Moses was crucified." Really? Who crucified Moses? Jesus? But the worst that's ever bit me in the ass, I flew to Israel. And it's the most secure country in the world. They interview you before you even get on the plane. So the first question is, are you a Jew? And I think this is get me in the express lane, so I'm like, yeah, super Jew. Follow-up question, okay, in the holiday of Rosh Hashanah, what do the apples and honey represent? This is like a cute 23-year-old girl asking me this. So as a flirtatious thing, I'm like, a late dessert? This is the wrong answer. She calls over the security guard who starts asking me all these religious questions to make sure I'm not trying to lie my way through security. He's like, what is the traditional Hanukkah prayer? I was like, dreidel, 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 obviously. Finally starts asking me political questions. He's like, do you think that Israel should control the West Bank? I was like, I think the Jews should control all the banks. Let's go to South Africa. It was pretty fun. I wasn't sure what to expect there racially. It turns out people are pretty cool with each other. The only thing I heard was something I've heard here as well. This one guy's like, hey, you know the problem with this country is, it's affirmative action. I got a 314 on this exam, this black guy gets a 309, he gets into the college. How is that fair? I was like, well, let me explain. If you were born and your parents moved into a better school district, then they buy educational toys and books and taught you everything they learned in college, and then before you took the exam, they paid for you a class just to do better on that exam, and they only beat someone who had none of that by 5 points. They're better than you. I mean, the way it was explained to me was with an analogy. It said, hey, say you're a track coach, you have the choice between 2 runners who run the 40-yard dash at exactly the same time. But one is perfect form, and one is terrible form. Who should you pick? You're supposed to pick the one who has terrible form, because once they learn good form, they'll be way faster than the other person. Now, I mean, it's kind of a moot point, because if you're a track coach, you're just going to pick the black guy anyway. laugh at that. I ran it by some of my friends who have black friends.
I ran it by some of my friends. Very funny.
I think my generation is terrible. I think my generation is the reason that China's going to bury us. Because in 10 years, China's going to have like 100 million people with engineering degrees, and we're going to have like 60 million people that are trying to be DJs. Our parents are like, why aren't our kids moving out? They're 28. We're like, well, maybe because they were told their whole lives they should do what they loved. Turns out, no one loves working. And this is what I do. I'm a comedian. Parents were like, what do you want to do with your life? I was like, complain about it. They're like, is there money in that? I was like, yours. This isn't always what I did. I used to be an engineer. To be honest, when people ask me what I do, I still say I'm an engineer. So I'm pretty quiet, and if I'm a comedian, people are always like, he's pretty quiet for a comedian. But if I'm an engineer, people are like, he's a hilarious engineer.